India Today spoke to Captain Umang Jani, HOD of Aviation Department of Western India Institute of Aeronautics at Indus University in Ahmedabad, who explains minute-to-minute details of the preliminary probe report of the AAIB from the cockpit of the Boeing 737-200 aircraft.
आपने इसके पहले भी एक बार जब हम मिले थे आपने समझाया था कि दो इंजन के दो इनपुट होते हैं और यहाँ पे हम देख भी पा रहे हैं कि जो स्पीड ब्रेक हो या चाहे थ्रस्ट हो या जो भी कट ऑफ के जो भी हैं सारी दो इंजन के मुताबिक दो उसके पूरे पावर राइट्स हैं। क्या किसी प्लेन में जिस प्रकार से इसमें दो थ्रस्ट के इसके अंदर पावर है, अगर आप हमें समझा भी पाएं अगर टेक्निकली तो वो भी आप समझाइए। और क्या दो इंजन के साथ दो फ्यूल टैंक अलग अलग होती हैं? क्योंकि फ्यूल नहीं मिलने की बात है तो दोनों फ्यूल टैंक क्या अलग अलग होती है?
हम फ्यूल सिलेक्ट कर सकते हैं कि कौन सी टैंक से हमें फ्यूल लेना है। इसमें फ्यूल सिलेक्टर वाल्व भी होता है। देखिए उसमें ऐसा है कि दोनों इंजन इंडिपेंडेंट वर्क करते हैं। हम अभी जिस विमान की कॉकपिट में ये है विमान है बोइंग 737-200, ये पुराना एक मॉडल है उसका विमान है। उसमें आप देख सकते हैं कि इसमें भी दो इंजन लगे हुए हैं और ये जो पूरा यूनिट है इसे हम थ्रॉटल क्वाड्रेंट कहते हैं। तो ये दोनों की जो दोनों इंजन होते हैं अगर आप उसको दोनों को एक साथ ऑपरेट करना चाहें तो वो दो एक साथ ऑपरेट हो सकते हैं। अगर आप उसको इंडिपेंडेंटली ऑपरेट करना चाहें तो आप इंडिपेंडेंट भी ऑपरेट कर सकते हैं। तो उसकी हर एक जो स्विचेस होती है जैसे कि थ्रस्ट रिवर्सर की जो स्विच है वो आप एक साथ भी ऑपरेट कर सकते हैं और उसका एक इंडिपेंडेंट भी आप ऑपरेट कर सकते हैं। उसका जो फ्यूल कट ऑफ है वो भी एक साथ ऑपरेट कर सकते हैं और उसके इंडिपेंडेंट जो है वो ऑपरेट हो सकते हैं। यानी पूरा जो दो इंजन होते हैं वो जनरली एक दूसरे के में मीन्स वो इंडिपेंडेंट होते हैं।
फ्यूल कट ऑफ की बात आ रही है, क्या जो 787-200 ड्रीम लाइनर है उसमें भी क्या फ्यूल कट ऑफ का जो भी सिस्टम है वो इसी तरह से होता है जिस तरह से यहाँ पे फिलहाल हमारे सामने दिखाई पड़ रहा है?
फ्यूल कट ऑफ दो तरीके से होता है। एक तो मैन्युअली होता है जो कॉकपिट से किया जाता है और दूसरा जो होता है कि इंजन के साथ एक उसकी जो इंजन को नियंत्रित करने वाली जो प्रणाली होती है वो इंजन को कमांड देकर फ्यूल कट ऑफ कर सकती है।
ये अंदर से क्या लगता है कि कट ऑफ किया गया हो या बाहर से? क्योंकि मैंने ये भी सुना है कि प्लेन जब उड़ान भरने वाला होता है तो एक चेकलिस्ट होता है, उसमें भी ये सारी चीजें चेक करनी रहती है।
जी बिल्कुल चेकलिस्ट होता है और अगर सबसे पहले तो फ्यूल कट ऑफ वाल चेकलिस्ट के हिसाब से ही पूरे सारे फ्लाइंग ऑपरेशन होते हैं। अगर फ्यूल ये जो वाल होता है उसका ऑपरेशन भी चेकलिस्ट का हिस्सा ही होता है। अगर पहले से फ्यूल कट ऑफ वाल ये सपोज ऑफ पोजीशन में है तो इंजन स्टार्ट ही नहीं होता।
अच्छा, दोनों इंजन के फ्यूल कट ऑफ होना, इस बात में आपको कितना विश्वास?
मैंने जैसे कि आपको बताया दोनों इंजन इंडिपेंडेंट होते हैं, दोनों अपने हिसाब से मीन्स इंडिपेंडेंटली वर्क करते हैं और दोनों इंडिपेंडेंट जब वर्क करते हैं तो मैंने आपको यहाँ पे पूरी कंट्रोल में आपको फिर से दिखाता हूँ। आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पर ये दोनों इंजन जो है वो बिल्कुल इस प्रकार से इंडिपेंडेंटली वर्क करते हैं। जी वैसे कोई संभावना नहीं होती कि दोनों जो हैं वो एक साथ इंजन फेल हो जाएं। जी
You've carried out as DG Flight Safety and Inspections, I'm certain several crash investigations, probes and sat on reports in your appreciation and finalized reports in your appreciation. Has something like this happened before and your take initially on this report?
See, Gaurav, I've covered it with you a number of times before, and now with the prelim report, I'm covering the enhanced story of this. Never ever immediately at unstick does a pilot give a mayday call. Somebody has missed out in this report.
Okay.
The relevance of a mayday call when the pilot gives at immediately at unstick means something grave has happened. So there is no doubt in anybody's mind that both the engines have failed because the rat is deployed, because of the other. Now, why the engines have failed has never come out in this preliminary report. They have all said that the fuel shut-off cock has been moved, all this thing has moved. But just before this movement, what was the status in the flight recorder of the engine? That has not come out. One. Number two, your 2018 report. After that, in 2019 January, a Nippon Airways aircraft in Japan, 787, on landing, had both engine failures. Fortunately for that aeroplane, when the pilots operated thrust reversals, both the engines cut out in the same way as happened. And this aircraft is totally and totally computerized, electrically driven, software driven. So the over reliance on technology, because now let's presume the pilot is taking off on the ill-fated day, is looking ahead, is manually taking off. Why on this earth would he turn 170 degrees behind to operate a switch manually, for which no sane pilot in this world would do this action intentionally to shut down the engine when he's taking off? In every aircraft which has more than one crew, every action is challenge and response.
Yes.
When a pilot does a critical action, he says it on RT.
He says
the other
it
pilot
because it's recorded.
acknowledges it. I'm shutting off this lever, and the other pilot says, okay. And then he does, and both acknowledge, and that's recorded in the CVR.
Yes.
So it's absolutely bizarre, in my opinion, to say that the pilot just operated the switch. Yes.
Air Marshal Kapoor, in your appreciation, if the pilot and the co-pilot conversation indicates that this was not done intentionally, what does this indicate?
One factor, another factor which has not come into 20 days, Gaurav, is too long a period. In my appreciation, 20 days ago, the complete data was downloaded.
Yes.
20 days is too long a period for it to be analyzed and come up with something, much more than what preliminary report has given. There is also additionally one input which nobody is talking about, that there is a cockpit camera in 787. There is a camera, the feed of which goes to this flight data recorder. It means everything that has happened in the cockpit, the actions the pilots have taken, the physical movements, has to be recorded. And that will give you a correct story as to what exactly happened. Now, it is against all aviation minds, thought process, that why on the takeoff leg, when he is busy holding the stick, he turns 170 degrees to operate a switch which he knows is suicidal. This happens when both the engines fail, and the first action is to recycle the switches, the same switches. So in my appreciation, as an outsider, the malfunction has taken place. The crew in the limited time has given a call and tried to recycle and relight the engines. So as per the preliminary report, one engine has partly lit up, the other engine, number 2 engine, didn't light up, or was in the process of being relit when the aircraft. Now there is no enough height, the speeds are too low, altitude is too high, and the conjunctures on a lot of media channels that the undercarriage was not taken up, the flaps were not down, vice versa. Then once on ground, they found both the undercarriage and flap was in the correct position. The crew in this precise, say from top of climb, in this case just 600 feet, to descent is just 17 to 18 seconds. Just visualize in 17 seconds that pilot has given a call. Those two pilots, experienced ones, have tried to recycle this fuel control levers, tried to relight the aircraft, tried to fly this aircraft, and tried to take it away. But there is nothing, neither the height or the speed, for it to be maneuvered. And of course, the aircraft crash landed.
When you look at one Special Airworthiness Information Bulletin, AAIB, and the recommendations and the aircraft models, when it says, if the locking feature is disengaged, the switch can be moved between the two positions without lifting the switch during transition, and the switch would be exposed to the potential of inadvertent operation. Inadvertent operation of the switch could result in an unintended consequences, such as an in-flight engine shutdown. The list of aircraft, airplane model and the switch, it has the 787-8, 9 and 10 also listed. What would you make of this report, sir?
These advisory special bulletins keep coming, and it is for the regulating authority and the maintenance team of this particular airlines. Being a commercial, ventures, all of them, they do not wish to keep the aircraft on ground for too long. These modifications, these checks, so they generally combine it when the aircraft is going in for routine servicing, when the aircraft is going for overhauls, when it is going for repairs. At that stage, the club, this is the normal technical practice for all these modifications. But certain bulletins are binding by the operators, that the airlines and the maintenance team have to action. There is no doubt on that. but certain things are advisory. This is a gray area. This is a gray area in the sense that you say, okay, we have got the advisory, but we will implement as and when the aircraft goes in for servicing or overall or at that stage. The switch as per this FA is, I think, so similar on all the Boeing variants. It is indicating 737, 747s, and the other variants, and also all the variants of 787 also. So the other colleague panelist who is on board now is raised a very pertinent point as to say that how do we know that engine failed because of the operation of the switch? Was it a malfunction or was it done at to every pilot, to every air crew on takeoff leg? It is suicidal. It is suicidal to
Absolutely.
shut down the engines. No sane person, and even if somebody does, he cannot do without discussing with the other pilot and the other pilot. Next point, not related to this thing, is globally, all flights more than 8 hours, the 3 pilots go in every cockpit. 3 pilots go. So this is a 10-hour flight. Ideally, Air India too had 3 pilots. I don't know why they reduced it. I'm not saying the third pilot in any way would have helped, but the third set of eyes in the cockpit would have certainly contributed if any such thing is happening, by telling the pilots who are looking ahead at this stage. This is another input I have on this.